as I woke up this morning and decided to surf the internet, I got met with articles like this. Nobody is above the law. The law. Not even Trump. Nobody is above it. Democracy. Nobody is above the law. The law. And it's interesting because it's almost exclusively Democrats that are chanting the magical incantation. Like, nobody is above the law. The law. Nobody is above it. And despite the chant, it seems that Donald Trump's donation page is going strong. He is getting more points in the rating. So the question is, do people believe the opposite? Do people believe that there are people above the law? And the answer to this is not really. But the problem is with the chant itself. You see, you're supposed to say nobody is above the law when a close friend of yours gets convicted, or if a family member gets convicted, or if you yourself gets convicted, or someone from your party and it inconveniences you greatly because they got convicted, like, then it makes sense to have the chant, like, nobody is above the law, as in, you have reporters asking you, like, what do you think that your family member got convicted? And you're like, well, I mean, what can I think? What can I say in this situation, right? So that makes PR sense. That is actually a reason for a person to say this. It's like, well, I mean, I'm not going to defend them. If they were found guilty, they were found guilty. What can I do? My hands are tied. Like, normally, I wish I would. It's basically the idea that there is no corruption, right? Because if your family member gets convicted and you're not doing anything, you're not pulling any strings, it shows that the system is working, unlike other countries in the world where if someone close to a politician gets convicted and the politician does everything they can, even sometimes under the table, in order to get that decision revoked, right? So they're phoning judges, they're phoning prosecutors, they're doing everything they can. And the idea of saying nobody is above the law is to show that that doesn't happen in America, right? Like, America is not like Eastern Europe. It's not like other countries where the political and the judicial system oftentimes work hand in hand. There are people that are protected, right? So it's like, it's not in America, because in America, nobody is above the law. But when you say this phrase after your political opponent gets convicted right before the elections, then it kind of loses that meaning, doesn't it? Imagine if Putin would say it. I don't follow Russian politics, although I wouldn't be surprised if he does say it when one of his opponents gets arrested and he's like, well, I mean, nobody's above the law. I don't understand what the PR experts are teaching these politicians, because if I was the PR expert, I would have instructed them to say something like this. It's unfortunate that it's happening, but if a jury of his own peers found him guilty, it is what it is. I personally would have wished that it didn't happen, because I want to run against someone fairly, and I want to win the next presidency fairly, without any doubts. But, if my main opponent gotten himself convicted right before the elections, I mean, it is what it is, but hopefully it's not going to cast much doubt or shadow on the election process. I mean, this is not up to me. I was part of the jury. I did, like something like that. If you say something like that, then it would make sense. But like, just constantly chanting this for years now. It's like, nobody is above the law, the law. Come on. Especially after the Epstein case, which is a very interesting case in the United States, because apparently a very wealthy billionaire was trafficking people to nobody, because like even now the lists are being sealed, right? So it's kind of hard to make that argument with a straight face. Again, like, there were journalists from the left and journalists from the right that didn't like the decision of those lists of people that traveled to the island to not be released. So, like, starting the chant, like, nobody is above the law, Come on. I mean, I know that if you repeat the lie long enough, eventually it sticks, but, Dios mío. So it's basically like people not having faith in the system, I guess. That's why the donation page is going down, and that's why he is getting so much support from everywhere. They are losing faith in the system, and the more you chant it, the more you repeat it, it's almost like you're telling yourself that. Right? Again, you're supposed to chant and repeat this when it's someone close to you that is getting convicted. And then you're like, well, I mean, what can I do? Still, by the way, I discussed this on my live stream with someone that knows American law better than I do. And I still see that there's people contradicting me in the comment sections. I do read the comment section. But they're contradicting me about one thing. And you are wrong if you're contradicting me on this. Like, get informed, seriously. If Trump wins the presidency and he is behind bars, he cannot pardon himself. And I see people going like, Novi, you don't understand. The president can pardon. Yes, he can pardon federal crimes. Federal. Agentes federales. You know, like that. Those are the ones that he can pardon. He can't pardon state-level crimes. State level, like, no, that's what the New York governor can pardon. So literally, in the situation where Trump wins the elections and he is behind bars, he cannot pardon himself. It would be up to the New York governor. Now, the New York governor could pardon him based on, and he should have like the moral obligation to do it simply because, well, people knew that he is in prison and yet they voted for him anyway, so he is the representatives of the people are the sovereigns, blah, 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 blah. Like, there is a moral reason to pardon him. However, he doesn't have to, like, legally speaking, he doesn't have to pardon him. So what ends up happening in that situation, you can have, for the first time in human history, the president of a nation being imprisoned in one of the member states. And I was thinking, like, wow, that is, like, some really great role-playing story building. You know, imagine you have like this sci-fi tabletop game where you have an alliance of planets, but the leader of that alliance is actually on a planet that's member state and is imprisoned, and he's governing from the prison. I mean, it's kind of fucking metal if you think about it. But we actually may see something like that in reality. So what would happen? Well, no one knows. Like, this never happened. This was not even accounted for. Obviously, the vice president would have a lot of Trump's delegations. So it would be like the Biden administration, really, where the president is not really there, but like someone else is doing most of the governing, probably the vice president. Who Trump picks as a vice president may actually be very influential. So we'll see. But it's also what prison is going to even take him, right? Because I don't think any warden is going to want that security risk. I mean, can you imagine? I think that prisons that are private may even sue the government and they would refuse to take him simply because it's like, well, we can't, like, we weren't trained for this level of risk. Like, no one wants. Like, can you imagine what would happen to that warden if, not even like Trump getting injured, but like just getting sick or something? I mean, if you get sick in a prison, they will obviously blame the prison system. So, yeah, I don't see anyone wanting it. If that's the case, the only solution that I see is that they would build an entirely new facility just for him. And depending how much New York wants to play ball, they may build it specifically for the president to the point where he's got, like, access to other lines of the government, secure lines and stuff. Like, I don't even know what would happen, to be honest. No one knows. Right? So it's up to how big of a troll the current judge is going to be, because under normal circumstances, for a non-violent crime, first-time offense, a fine would be sufficient. I don't think they can give him house arrest under Mar-a-Lago simply because Mar-a-Lago isn't in New York. So again, it poses certain problems. But if the judge is a troll and they're like, yeah, no, he should go to prison for like 4 years, then he's going to file an appeal. And if the appeal is also going to say, no, the sentence stays, then he is going to have to serve. And if he becomes president, if he becomes elected, and the New York governor doesn't want a pardon, which is very probable, I mean, he's got no reason to, legally speaking, then you would have a very weird situation where I do believe they can invoke the 25th, is it? When the president comes here? Yeah, they will try to invoke the 25th. I mean, it's going to be a political shit show. He's not going to be allowed to govern properly, basically. Like, for the first couple of years, there's going to be legal disputes, legal battle. It's going to be, well, is this okay? I mean, the vice president ratified it, but it should have been the president, and the president is in prison. Like there's a lot of questions that are left unanswered with what would happen if he was behind bars. And of course, the inauguration itself. Like, how do you have the inauguration? Like, if he is not allowed to leave the prison, and all of it is based on how petty the people doing this are, right? Because if they're very petty, they could say, well, no one is above the law. He's not allowed to leave the prison. No one is above the law. They're not allowed to go into the prison. He's like a convict like everyone else, blah, 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 blah. So it depends like how accommodating they want to be. And if they don't want to be accommodating, well, it is what it is. Still, I mean, the inauguration will probably happen symbolically, I guess. Like, you'll have Joe Biden going into the prison, and behind the plexiglass, the transfer of power will happen. We'll see. It is very interesting. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.